Libs of TikTok has received documents pertaining to DEI and LGBTQ training being pushed inside Advanced Auto Parts. As part of their training, Advanced Auto Parts dives deep into diversity, equity, and inclusion. With a vision to embrace, quote, diversity of people. Of course, one specific group of people is clearly absent for not being diverse enough.
Well, with Harley-Davidson's customer pushback raging into its third week, companies like Bud Light having lost 15 to 20% of their customers after a year of trying to win them back, this is a great time where customers are pushing back and customers are winning. Tractor Supply, for example, had all sorts of diversity, equity, and inclusion crap on their website. Customers pushed back and they immediately dropped it all. Now, people who are black-pilled might say, oh, they're probably just doing it anyway. They're just calling it something else. I don't know, maybe. But I think it's still a win when they come out and say, hey, we hear you. We hear our customers. We're not going to be sponsoring any, pride events anymore. We're not going to be, doing any diversity, equity, inclusion. We're not going to be having training solely for our white male employees that insinuates that is inherently something that needs to be fixed. This is all stuff that happened at Harley, it happened at Bud Light, and it's happening of all places now at Advanced Auto Parts. Now, if you're in America, Advanced Auto Parts is one of the largest auto parts stores in the country. And, there's O'Reilly, Advanced Auto Parts, Napa. There's a lot of places you can go to get automobile parts. And to be honest, the number of people fixing their own cars nowadays is probably lower than ever in terms of as a percentage. But if you're not in America, just know it's, whatever your local auto parts store is, auto parts chain. And this was a report from Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok has obtained insider training material from Advanced Auto Parts detailing a complete DEI takeover of the company, policy, and culture. It includes race-based hiring practices, discriminating against white people, and encouraging employees to snitch on fellow workers who don't follow the diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Another company has fallen to the woke mind virus. Look at this video.
Libs of TikTok has received documents pertaining to DEI and LGBTQ training being pushed inside Advanced Auto Parts, one of the most popular auto parts suppliers in the country. As part of their training, Advanced Auto Parts dives deep into diversity, equity, and inclusion with a vision to embrace, quote, the diversity of people, thoughts, skills, and experiences.
By the way, embracing diversity of thought is a great thing. It legitimately is a great thing for all businesses and for all kind of groups of people who are working to, have a better product. The problem is these companies are only concerned with diversity of skin color and diversity of bedroom partners. That's not exactly very interesting. That's not exactly going to provide you any diverse thought. You got to look at a lot of these tech companies and other companies like that. They have, a whole rainbow of people that work there: black, white, Asian, trans, straight, barely any straights, but LGBT, everything, right? But they all think exactly the same, and their product sucks. This is particularly true in the video game industry.
So what do they mean by, quote, diversity of people? According to Advanced Auto Parts' diverse team, this means targeting underrepresented groups such as pride organizations and various other networks of minority groups. They even go as far as providing direct links for recruiters. Of course, one specific group of people is clearly absent for not being diverse enough. HR teams are expected to ensure the execution of DEI strategies throughout the company's hiring process to make sure recruitment is as diverse as possible.
And again, I don't have any problem. Oftentimes, just so I like to arm my viewers with how to push back against a lot of this insanity. If you push back on this, what's what everyone always says? Who pushes it? They gaslight you, and they say like, "What? You don't want to work with black people, or you don't want to work with women?" I mean, that's probably true for some people, but the reality is it's a very small percentage of people. And we just want to work with the people who are best for the job. And also, if you hire the people who are best for the job, you get the best products and you get the best, outcome. You get the best customer service. Now, if the best person for the job happens to be black, so what? Hire that person because they're the best person for the job. If they happen to be white, so what? You hire that person because they're the best person for the job. This is how you end up with so many idiots at these companies with huge salaries who do absolutely nothing and add no value whatsoever.
In fact, the company even pledged to increase its leadership representation of women and people of color separately by 25% by the year 2026. Additionally, leaders of the company are tasked with actively championing DEI policies throughout their teams, including holding peers and teams accountable for delivering DEI goals. As part,
I mean, yikes! You're asking staff to enforce your woke ideology on other staff members, to tattle on them if they don't agree. I don't know. I mean, this seems like a very terrible policy to have. I don't think I'd want to buy my oil filters from these guys. I don't want to buy my, rear taillight replacement or, a new belt, any of this kind of stuff. I mean, there's a million other places to go. Advanced Auto Parts is about to learn a very, very expensive lesson, is that they are incredibly replaceable. By the way, this is on the heels of very, very, very bad financial times. Advanced Auto Parts to cut costs by $150 million, sell 2 businesses, and lay off 400 people. This is not a company that's doing very well. Let's see how their Twitter's going. They tweeted on August 12th. Let's finish this.
Part of their company's cultural beliefs training, Advanced Auto Parts expects all employees to help promote an equitable, anti-racist environment which is free from discrimination or harassment.
What does that even mean?
One of the ways they will achieve this is by encouraging its employees to report on others who are not following DEI values or are engaging in biased behavior.
Look at this slide. Be accountable. Be accountable for your own words and actions. That's fine. Knowing that both can have real consequences for the experience of other team members. Speak up. Speak up when you see biased behavior, microaggressions, discriminations, or other examples of team members not acting according to our DE&I values and beliefs. So snitch, if you see an employee microaggress, I don't think if you asked 100 people on the street what a microaggression was, I would not be surprised if 100 of them had no idea what you're talking about.
Or microaggressions. Yet another company has decided to latch on to the woke mind virus, forcing a radical agenda of diversity and inclusion on its employees.
Great report from Libs of TikTok. Also, you see here, let's take a look. Advanced Auto Parts retweeted a NASCAR post saying, did you just assume that battery's gender? Advanced Auto Parts employee, you might as well turn off the lights. Your customer base will not support you now. What the heck were you thinking? Time to take my dollars to a company that... I mean, the reason the pushback works is because there's a million other places you can go. Now, you want to talk about hardware stores. You got Home Depot, you got Menards, you got, Sears. Well, not so much anymore. Harbor Freight. You got Ace Hardware. You got all these hardware stores. Figure out which one doesn't have DE&I and just use that. That's why I tell everyone about the Veebs app. Get the Veebs app, figure out where these companies sit. By the way, use promo code 4444 and you get a free trial. Onto the boycott list you go. When seeking to be a DEI woke company, expect to go broke and multiply filing of discrimination lawsuits. Is it time to boycott another company ran by freak shows? I mean, this is all from today. Just this weekend. They're getting absolutely crushed. Whoops, seeking out that nice DEI score is going to cost you a nice sum of money. I'll get my parts elsewhere, which is unfortunate. Your store is only a half mile away from me, but I cannot support this DEI nonsense, so I'll drive 1.5 miles away instead. I mean, yeah. People need, here, Advance Auto, there's Rock Auto, there's O'Reilly, there's Napa, there's AutoZone. There is a million options for, there's a million options for this nonsense, right? And I'm just so happy that people are like, okay, time to boycott. DEI policies have no place in a free society. Who's ever going to have Advanced Auto Parts anymore? Now usually you start to see when there's like a good amount of backlash, you'll see like kind of niche news outlets covering it, and then you'll see mainstream. So this stuff percolates for a couple of weeks. You see from 1819 News, Advanced Auto Parts DEI training revealed in Libs of TikTok video. It says here, documents obtained says they embrace the diversity of people, thoughts, skills, and experiences. The company targets, quote, underrepresented and minority groups. I mean, dude, everybody needs to fix their car. I don't really understand what DE&I makes, why does that have anything to do with it? But then, if we look in 2021, Advanced Auto Parts president Tom Greco explained that the company was committed to DEI. Quote, we know a diverse and inclusive workplace that reflects the marketplace we serve makes us a better company and has a direct impact on our financial performance. Isn't it funny how basically every one of these woke presidents says some version of this that's very, very similar? It's like someone told them exactly what to say. This is practically word for word with what Harley Davidson is saying. Quote, creating an environment where every team member feels valued, supported, and equal also makes Advance a desirable place to work. Yeah, they just laid off 400 people. Greco felt that he felt DEI work needed to extend to other parts of the automotive industry. So they have an insanely woke CEO. They can no longer use their Twitter account because they're just going to end up getting absolutely crushed on anything they want to put out. And this is how it should go, by the way. Here's their Advanced Auto Parts made a post on August 10th. 256 replies, 60 likes, and going the Bud Light rule, losers, enjoy the Bud Light treatment. They're not going to be able to tweet ever again. That's it. You just lose your Twitter, your X account, you lose your Facebook account, and then now you don't get to market anymore, and your business loses money. That's the price you pay, and I'm so glad that everyone keeps getting involved and keeps making these losers pay it.